in English language, we spend our time requesting about things, and we spend our time, congratulating people. They do occur, these actions, but not always. There are a lot of speech acts that are important that our learners should acquire. So we should teach them all these speech acts. Now, raising learners' interest to the use of conversation gambits that allow them maybe to initiate and change topic of conversation. Know how to take the floor and use extractors, among others, in the opening and closing conversation. So, as I told you, you've got to know how to take the floor, when to extract yourself from a conversation. These are all techniques that you've got to learn in your conversation, in the conversation class. Above all, as I said, learners should be taught how to deal with unexpected situations. Because you are going to talk with somebody. You don't know how the conversation will go. Do you? Of course you don't. So we should teach you, bearing in mind that you will find somebody with whom you share neither the same language, nor the same culture, and who speaks like you English. And we will make sure that you will be able to understand him, and he will be able to understand you. Because what is important, we've got a tendency also to forget that I will say that I speak in language when I understand people. No. The most important thing in any foreign language is not that you understand people. It's that people understand you. You see the difference, you see? Huh? It's easy, people, if I speak a particular language, I will talk to an Englishman. He will understand me, maybe he will understand me. But if he understands me, this doesn't mean that I'm a good speaker of the English language, no. I will be a very good speaker, use of the English language, the day somebody from London or there will understand what I mean. I give a lot of examples, my own experience. One day, thinking that I was I speak English quite good, there's no problem with me. And I went to the library in Kensington, the Kensington Library in London, and I asked for a book, and I said, I need culture and imperialism. She said, she didn't understand. Sorry? I said, culture and imperialism. I repeated thrice, as Shakespeare would say, the expression, and she couldn't understand. Goodness me, but this is English, culture and imperialism. And then I said to myself, something must have gone wrong with my pronunciation. I changed the stress. Culture and imperialism. Ah, you said culture and imperialism. Yes, I said yes. Okay, she understood me. Another experience that I went through is that we were working in a remote area in one of the Arab countries. And I was working as a translator. And then, 5 o'clock, we ended the job is over, we wanted to go back to our hotels. And I was with a group of Englishmen to whom I served as a translator. And we started waiting. We waited for nearly half an hour. And then one of them came to me, "Bell, what are we waiting for?" I said, "We are waiting for this, how I did pronounce it. Thanks God, I forgot the wrong pronunciation." Okay. I said, "We are waiting for this cold." He said, "Pardon?" I said, "This cold." "Pardon?" But I speak English, come on. I said, "We are waiting for the policeman to come." I changed the whole again. I said, "We are waiting for the policeman to come because we needed protection because it was a remote area." I said, "We are waiting for the escort." You see, escort, which I pronounced, and escort. I said, "Yes, but the word is written E-S-C-O-R-T. It's the same. But it's just instead of stressing on the first syllable, I put the stress on the second syllable. And then he couldn't to understand. So you see why it's very important to be understood by people, not to understand people. It's easy. You know, I said to myself, when I was living in England, and I lived there for 5 years, I set to myself a challenge. I said to my wife at that time, you know, I want to be a good speaker of the English language until the day I will walk in the streets of London, and when I will hear people passing by speaking, I will understand them, I will understand the topic they are talking about. That day I said to myself, now I speak English very well. You see? So it is very important to try to be understood and to understand what people mean without sharing with them the context. Okay? It's very, very important. So that's what we need to know, that's what we need to teach. And this is the pragmatics I'm talking about. To conclude this point, the hybrid nature of EIL interactions, where speakers draw both from their mother tongue and English, must be taken into consideration when setting the lines of EIL pragmatics. So when we talk about pragmatics in English as an international context, we need to take into consideration that this particular variety of English, its speakers come from different origins, from different cultural background, they speak different languages. Therefore, what we should do now, therefore, our main concern for the time being, should be focused on ways that are more likely to contribute to the development within our learners of a more widespread awareness of the pragmatic strategies, the strategies I talked about. I mean, people should be aware of all these sorts of things, then in the negotiation of meaning, because the main aim of you and me learning the English is here, as Hombauer and all said, our interests are the way interlocutors, so to speak, negotiate meaning and achieve cooperation of consensus, how they gauge and each other's level of linguistic pragmatic competence and adjust expectations on the linguistic pragmatic levels. Our main aim is that you should be clear enough when you speak English, and people should understand you as the same way you should understand them. That's what we do need, and that's the kind of pragmatics I am, with a lot of people promoting now. The topic is brand new, and so you probably will hear about it a lot in the future. And my final word is what? Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Excellent. Very impressive. Now we have a few minutes for a Q&A session. Now is your turn or chance to ask Professor Neda some questions.